Hi people!
Welcome!
To this new segment. My name is Fer.
I'm Ximena.
And I'm Mario. And this is History Crash! Today we're going to talk about the democracy and capitalism in Europe in the 19th century.
We will analyze and tell you how did we get to this, but we also have a special guest.
Karime! But first of all, we need to know what is capitalism. Dictionary, let me search it. Wow. What happened there? Thank you. Okay, so capitalism. Well, capitalism is an economic system in which investment in and ownership of the main production, distribution, and exchange of wealth is made of and maintained chiefly by private individuals or corporations, especially as contrasted to cooperative or state-owned means of wealth. Okay. Well, I don't understand.
I can explain. With private property, the owner is allowed to do whatever they like with their property. So, for example, if I own a cookie, I can do whatever I want with it. I can eat it, I can throw it in the garbage, or I can even set it on fire. And you have no way of stopping me. But if I give you the cookie, then you become the owner of it. And you can do whatever you like with it, and I have no way of stopping you. In a capitalist society, if I own a cookie factory, or a box of cookies, I can do with them whatever I like. In a capitalist country, everything is someone's private property. Now, let's go back to the cookies. I own it, but you want it. You want to make an agreement with me so that you own the cookie and I don't. Of course, I don't really see any reason why I should give you the cookie, because I won't have any exchange for it. You will try to get me to give me as less as you can for the cookie, and I will try to convince you to give me as much as you can for it. Eventually, we either stop talking and I keep the cookie, or we can get to an agreement and set the price of it, that is what you will give me in exchange for the cookie. Is this now clear?
Yeah, I think that we all understand that. Well, by the way, thanks for the cookie.
My pleasure.
Well, it's also important to know what is democracy. It's a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives.
Let me explain. It means that it's a type of government where common people rule.
Hi, Karime!
Hi, girl! What do you need now?
Well, we need your knowledge.
It can be another day. I'm in the beach enjoying my vacation.
No way, we need it now.
Well, tell me, how can I help you?
We need to know in what French Revolution does alignment ideas were put in practice.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay, come on.
People of France started a social alignment ideas because they want personal power, religious toleration, and social control. And they want equality in the That's what for me. The king and the royal class didn't agree with this because it means that we lose the privilege and power. So obviously nobody will accept it because money is money and power is power. You will not accept, or yes.
Hey, Karime, continue with the story.
Oh, yes. Well, so as the king didn't like it, the people got angry and created a national assembly, and was established a new constitution. And after the National Assembly, the protesters started a rebellion, and for this, the first master movement was the Bastille attack. And thanks of this, the liberals got new arms and started rebelling around France.
But how did they become liberals?
Xime, I'm the one telling the story, so silence, please. But then, the people got tired and want to end the revolution with a constitution.
And the savage of the citizens killed him in the guillotine, and then the origin of terror started. Now that I end up being as always useful, I will go to the end.
Well, that was weird, but I think we learned something.
Yeah. To continue our trajectory to the democratic Europe,
The Napoleonic Empire happened.
For this, it started when Napoleon came to power in 1799 and set up the consulate and new government in France.
Napoleon held absolute power and increased the bureaucracy. He even restored the relationship with the Catholic Church.
well, he spread principles of the French Revolution, such as legal equality, religious toleration, and the nobility and clergy for not to have privilege.
The fall of the empire was in 1850 with the Great Retreat and across Russia and the Battle of Waterloo when he was exiled.
The consequences of the Napoleonic Empire and the solution for its problems were in the Congress of Vienna.
Well, as you already know, the Congress of Vienna was held in Vienna. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
From May 2nd of 1840 until June 9 of 1850.
And you may be asking, why was it for? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Well, its purpose was to redesign the European political map.
But also to reestablish the peace and political stability in Europe. I think so.
Well, I don't know. The members of this Congress were Great Britain,
Russia.
Russia, France, and the Austrian Empire.
The principles of the Congress of Vienna were legitimacy, religion.
I think that it was also intervention, Congress, and equilibrium.
Yes.
But I didn't like the Congress of Vienna, you know?
Why is that? It ended with the Napoleonic Empire.
I think that it's because it destroyed every liberal movement that people fight for. Because, I mean, they got back to the old style.
Yeah. The crown was again from the royal family.
So the Congress of Vienna destroyed everything?
Exactly.
Does that mean that all the revolutions failed except for Belgium?
They were such losers.
Our next theme is ideologies.
What do you mean with ideologies?
Yeah, is there economic and social ideologies in the century?
Well, there was the economic liberalism ideologies, right? Based upon the laissez-faire and was in favor of the private property.
Also, there were two ideologies, the capitalism that we already talked about and the socialism.
The economic and cultural system were based in wage labor and private ownership of the means of production.
Well, to establish the price, the price, they consider the use of value, that means the utility, the exchange of value, that was the cost,
Or the price, right?
right? And the labor value, that was the time used to produce. And to establish the market price, they made it through the law and supply of demand.
Oh, well, these laws were two laws. Says the first,
Demand falls and the supply rises, the price also falls.
And if the demand rises and the supply falls, the price rises.
So, for example, if you produce more cookies but people don't like them, the price of the Nutella will be very cheap. A lot of people like the cookies, but there are few of them. The price will eventually be expensive.
Thanks again for the explanation.
Sure.
Where's my cookie?
There is no cookie.
Well, okay. In the capitalism system, there was a struggle between the bourgeois and the proletarians. The bourgeois were the middle class, the owners of the fabrics, and the proletarians, the low class. And this was because the bourgeois exploited the proletarians.
Well, in the other hand, we have the socialism. This ideology that goes to the collective government ownership of the means of production and the distribution of goods.
The father of the capitalism is Adam Smith. He said that all the work was regarding for their own interests of workers.
Well, the difference between the difference between capitalism and socialism is that in the capitalism there is no intervention of the government. They are individuals of the government. They don't.
They have their private property.
They have their private property. And well, in the socialism, the government will intervene in the protection of the workers. Now we're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution.
An important fact of this period is that it was at the same time as all the things we have been talking about.
It was a time of changes and modernization.
There were agricultural innovations,
Population growth,
And there was an availability of capital for investment.
and also the availability of natural resources growth. And the people that live in countryside moved to the cities, and that's how the big cities were created.
there was an enclosure movement because laws allowed landowners fence in common lands.
Factories benefit from the new labor supply.
They were cottage industries. These were a business that produced goods.
Before the Industrial Revolution, people worked at home, and after it, people worked in factories with steam engines, for example.
In one hand, in this area, there was an era where many important movements and transformation and improvements were created and helped in many aspects.
But on the other hand, pollution and disease increased dramatically.
Yes, it was an era of changes, and some people didn't like to be emigrated.
Exactly. It wasn't a golden era for everybody.
Imperialism.
Time for the mystery box.
What do we have now?
We have 2 questions in there.
Well, the first says, was there an emperor in the imperialism?
Yes, there was. It's obviously.
And the second question is, did they become more democratic?
Yes, it did.
Well, in this period of time, Europe started to interact with Africa.
But why were they interested in Africa?
Well, they want their gold, ivory, species, and obviously slaves.
Yeah, wait, what?
Yes, with this, the Europeans started to make external slave trade, which was known as the triangle trade. I will explain this.
Please not again cookies.
No, this time it will be with you.
Well,
The triangle trade was between Europe, Africa, and Americas. From Europe to Africa, they traded textile and manufacturing goods. From Africa to the Americas, slaves, and from the Americas to Europe, it was sugar, tobacco, and cotton.
thanks to this, Belgium began to see the wealth and opportunities that Africa offered.
I want to go to Africa.
Then they started the trade of the Africans people as slaves.
What were you thinking?
Well, Beijing is trying to divide and gave parts to the other countries of Europe.
Here we can also notice that the presence of the capitalism, right?
Why?
Because people start to make a lot of money and individual wealth. They start to invest with their own money and instead of governments.
Oh my god, have you seen what time is it?
Oh my god. I think that this is the end of this segment.
No, I have so much fun.
I know, but we have to go.
Well, thanks for watching, and this is
History Crash!